Have you ever heard about black hairy tongue? Yes, you heard that right. It's not the title of a horror movie or the name of a bizarre creature from a fantasy novel. It's a real, albeit unusual medical condition that affects the human tongue. Picture this, a tongue that looks like it's covered in a layer of dark fur. Sounds strange, doesn't it? But fear not, as eerie as it might sound, it's not as terrifying as the name suggests. In fact, it's quite common and completely harmless. It's one of those quirky things about the human body that often leaves us scratching our heads, wondering how on earth that could happen. You see, our bodies are complex machines, filled with numerous mysteries just waiting to be unraveled. So, if you're curious to discover what causes black hairy tongue, stay tuned. We're about to embark on an enlightening journey into this fascinating facet of human biology. So, what exactly is black hairy tongue? Imagine waking up one day, looking in the mirror and seeing your tongue covered in a black hairy-like substance. Sounds like something out of a horror movie, right? But in reality, this is a relatively common and usually harmless condition known as black hairy tongue. Now, before your imagination runs wild, it's essential to clarify that it's not actual hair growing on your tongue. The hairy appearance is actually due to elongated filiform papillae. These are small bumps on the surface of your tongue that grow longer and do not shed as they normally would. Under usual circumstances, these filiform papillae are worn down by the food we eat and regular tongue cleaning, but when they become elongated, they can trap bacteria or yeast, leading to discoloration. This discoloration can range from brown to black, giving the tongue a dark, hairy appearance, hence the term black hairy tongue. This condition can be quite startling, especially if you've never heard of it before. The good news, though, is that it's often temporary and usually painless. It typically doesn't indicate a serious health problem. However, it can sometimes cause a metallic taste in the mouth, bad breath, or a tickling sensation. Black hairy tongue can affect anyone, regardless of age or gender. While it's more common in people who have poor oral hygiene, it can also occur in those who maintain excellent dental hygiene. It's a fascinating and somewhat mysterious condition, demonstrating the intricate balance of our oral microbiome. So, we've now learned that black hairy tongue is a condition where elongated filiform papillae on the tongue trap bacteria or yeast, leading to a dark, hairy appearance. It's generally harmless, but it can cause some discomfort and aesthetic concerns. Now that we know what black hairy tongue is, let's delve into its causes. So, what causes this unusual condition? The answer is a combination of factors, many of which are tied to our daily habits and lifestyle choices. Firstly, let's talk about oral hygiene, or rather, the lack of it. Inadequate oral care often leads to a buildup of bacteria and yeast in the mouth. Now consider your tongue as a lush garden where each taste bud is like a tiny tree. When we don't clean our mouths properly, it's like leaving dead leaves and debris in the garden, providing the perfect environment for fungi and bacteria to flourish. Over time, these bacteria and yeast can cause the papillae, those tiny hair-like projections on your tongue, to elongate and trap more debris and bacteria. This buildup gets stained by food and drink, leading to the dark, hairy appearance, hence the name black hairy tongue. Moving on, another significant factor is tobacco use. Whether you're a smoker or a chewer, tobacco introduces a host of harmful substances into your mouth. These substances not only stain your tongue a darker color, but can also disrupt the natural regeneration cycle of your tongue's papillae. This disruption can result in overgrown and discolored papillae, contributing to the development of black hairy tongue. Lastly, let's not forget about excessive alcohol consumption. Alcohol can be quite drying to the mouth, which can upset the balance of bacteria, leading to an overgrowth. Moreover, many alcoholic beverages are acidic, which can further disrupt the balance of your mouth's environment and promote the growth of yeast and bacteria. These are just a few causes of black hairy tongue, but they all revolve around the same theme: an imbalance in the mouth's environment that allows certain bacteria and yeast to thrive, leading to the overgrowth and discoloration of the tongue's papillae. These are just a few causes, but there are more to explore. We have more causes of black hairy tongue to discuss. Next on our list is the impact of certain medications. Some drugs, particularly those containing bismuth, can contribute to the development of black hairy tongue. Bismuth is a common ingredient in many over-the-counter remedies, such as those for upset stomach. When it reacts with the sulfur naturally present in your saliva, it produces a black substance. This substance can then stain the papillae on your tongue, leading to the characteristic dark, hairy appearance. Now let's talk about radiation therapy. This treatment, especially when targeted to the head and neck, can lead to black hairy tongue. Here's why. Radiation therapy can cause changes in the oral environment, including the growth and structure of the tongue's papillae. These changes can make it easier for bacteria and yeast to grow, which in turn can cause this condition. But it's not just radiation therapy that can change your oral environment. Dehydration and insufficient saliva production can also play a part. You see, saliva is essential for keeping our mouths clean. It helps wash away food particles and bacteria. If you're dehydrated or your body isn't producing enough saliva, bacteria and yeast have a better chance to grow. And where there's unchecked bacterial and yeast growth, there's a risk for black hairy tongue. Just imagine your tongue as a garden. The papillae are like the soil. They provide a place for things to grow. If you're taking certain medications, undergoing radiation therapy, or not producing enough saliva, it's like you're watering that garden with a substance that promotes the growth of unwanted plants. In this case, those unwanted plants are the bacteria and yeast that can lead to black hairy tongue. Understanding these causes can help us prevent this condition. Let's recap. To recap, we've learned quite a bit about the causes of black hairy tongue. This unusual condition, while sounding a bit outlandish, is quite real and can be quite unsettling to those who experience it. It's a result of the overgrowth and darkening of the papillae on the surface of the tongue. Several factors can contribute to the development of black hairy tongue. These include a lack of proper oral hygiene, excessive tobacco use, and heavy consumption of coffee and tea. When you don't clean your mouth thoroughly, bacteria and debris can accumulate on the tongue's surface, leading to this condition. Similarly, certain habits, like smoking or chewing tobacco, can contribute to the darkening of the tongue. The chemicals in these substances can darken the tongue's surface and encourage the growth of bacteria. Similarly, excessive consumption of dark-colored beverages like coffee and tea can stain the tongue, leading to the appearance of a black hairy surface. In addition, certain medications and treatments can also lead to this condition. Antibiotics can disrupt the normal balance of oral bacteria, leading to an overgrowth of certain types. Radiation therapy to the head and neck can also alter the normal functioning of the cells in the mouth, leading to changes in the tongue's appearance. However, it's important to remember that black hairy tongue is typically a harmless condition. It's often more of a cosmetic concern than a serious health problem, but if you're worried about any changes in your oral health, it's always a good idea to seek medical advice. A key takeaway from our discussion is the critical importance of maintaining good oral hygiene. Regular brushing, flossing, and tongue scraping can help prevent many oral health issues, including black hairy tongue. Remember, while black hairy tongue might sound scary, it's usually harmless and often preventable. Keep your oral health in check and you'll have nothing to worry about. Thanks for tuning in.